Hi there everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Joesephyr, for those of you who have not been to my channel before, and ordinarily I'm actually most well known for creating content for Final Fantasy trading card game. But Opera Omnia is actually a game that I've played for a very long time, since day one in fact, and I've been looking for reasons to kind of break into creating content for Opera Omnia for a while, and I've actually been streaming it for a little while. So I thought to myself, well, when would it be a good time to do that? Now we've just had the first anniversary announced for Opera Omnia, and a little extra surprise in the fact that Beatrix is coming to the global version of Opera Omnia first. And seeing as Final Fantasy IX is my favourite game and Beatrix is one of my favourite characters ever, I figured that now would be a good time. So I wanted to start by making a beginner's guide to Opera Omnia for loads of those people who want to get into this game but don't really know where to start, because any gacha game or any mobile game can be quite overwhelming, certainly after the game has been released, for those of you who maybe haven't played a game like this before. So if you want to get off to a really good head start when it comes to Opera Omnia, stay tuned and keep on watching. Now the first thing you're going to want to do when it comes to starting any game like this really, but with Opera Omnia certainly, is to pick a good time to start. Now I know that that sounds like a really stupid concept, surely the best time is now for you to start playing any game, but with a game like Opera Omnia or any gacha game, there are times where the developers will release like gifts for players or lots of stuff that's free for everybody that they only release in certain periods of time. Now I already mentioned that we're coming up to the first anniversary of Opera Omnia, but videos are time sensitive, so obviously that's not going to last forever. So if you're watching this video after the first anniversary has ended, then maybe ask around and look around for a good time to start playing it, like is there a really strong banner coming up, is there loads of gifts coming up anytime soon? But honestly, as of this video being made, the next week or so is going to be a really good time for you to start. So once you've found a good place to start, and again if you're not sure, check out loads of online resources for yourself and find out when a good time to start would be. The subreddit for Opera Omnia is actually very welcoming, I've found, so if you're not sure and go when would be a good time to start, there would be a great time to start to ask questions and things like that. Once you've found that out, you're going to want to learn about what was called rerolling. Now funnily enough, I did actually try and break into the Opera Omnia scene when the game actually came out a year ago. So a year ago to the day, pretty much, we are at the first anniversary after all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description box, because that video that I made a year ago is actually a guide to re-rolling for the game. Now, some of the stuff that I talk about there is a little bit out of date, you know, because it was when the game was released, and power creep is always a thing. I actually do mention that in the video itself. So don't worry too much about the specifics that I mentioned within that video, but the actual concept of how to re-roll, why one should re-roll, and what you get out of it is very much the same. So like I said, I shall leave a link in the description box for that for you to watch, and definitely check that out if you want to learn what re-rolling is and why we do it. The main reason is basically so that you can guarantee yourself a head start. So it's very important that, I mean, if you don't really mind that kind of thing, then definitely just get on with the game. But if you want to get off to a really good head start, then I definitely recommend doing it. Once you're happy with the state that you're in, whether it's through re-rolling or whether you just want to get started, one of my biggest recommendations for you is to go into the settings and click on the batch downloads area section, because the game downloads content as you play it normally. And honestly that makes it so that the load times are horrendously long, and honestly it would drive me insane having to do that all the time as soon as anything new comes out. I don't mind it so much when it's like progressive, but when you're doing it with everything, like from the menus to the character models to everything, you want to get that batch download done. It will take a while initially, but it's very much worth it. Once that download is finished, then it's very, very good to get a really good head start, to get some friends who play the game, or even people that you might want to follow online or anything like that, so that you can get hold of their friend unit, because you would be very surprised how far a friend unit can carry you in the early stages of the game. Even in the late stages of the game, we all use friend units for a good reason, because they almost like serve as a fourth character in your party, because normally you only have three, and they kind of act for characters that you may not have acquired all the stuff for, and then they can kind of push their character, and so you're using them to further your goals, and that's going to help you accelerate the ways that you get through the game very, very quickly. Now when you go into the quests tab of the game, then honestly it can look a little overwhelming. There's chapters from the story, there's events, lost chapters and world of illusions. Where do you even start? Now honestly, events, lost chapters and world of illusions can kind of be bunched together into like an events page of their own, because they all kind of serve that way. Some of them are time limited, some of them are not. honestly, the best thing for you to do is to just get stuck into the story. The tutorials are in the game to kind of teach you how to play, and you know, you're going to get to grips with the mechanics of the game. I'm going to be making videos on like combat tips and how to sort of maximize your efficiency while actually playing, but for the time being, when you're just getting started, I think the best thing for you to do is just to kind of acclimatize yourself to the game, get comfortable with it, learn whether you actually enjoy the game or not, because you know, the rest of this stuff is going to be pointless if you're not going to enjoy the game, and then just kind of get comfortable with it. Though, honestly, once you've done that, you want to get to a point where you can do an event quite quickly, and honestly, you'd be surprised how quickly you can get to that point, because they're quite time limited. So, like, every other week, a new event turns up. Sometimes the other events will happen in the interim period between them, but usually a time-sensitive event will happen every 2 weeks. And then you want to kind of tackle those as quickly as you can, because you obviously want to reap the benefits from doing those as quickly as you can. You'll get the characters from it, like currently, as you can see in the example I have on the right, Realm is currently the event character with the 1,000 words event, and you'll be able to acquire not only Realm, but her armor and her 15 CP weapon, and I'll get to what 15 CP means later, or in other videos and stuff on a pulling guide. But honestly, you want to kind of get to a point where you can get those characters, get their stuff quickly, because those are going to be serviceable characters for you at worst until you get yourself to a more advanced state in the game. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about in terms of a beginner's guide as such is how you can get experience and the resources that you need in order to actually get to the stage where you can clear events nice and easily. And that's because there are two different types of leveling systems in Opera Omnia. You have your XP system, which is just like any other game where the more you use a character, the quicker that you get to levels. The max level is currently 60, but there's a soft cap at 50. And the way that you break that is by getting their crystal level up. So the crystal level is done through resources, which are, funnily enough, crystals. And the way that you get those most easily is through cycle quests. Now, cycle quests are a different colour every day of the week, and they consistently come around every week so that you can then farm for that colour crystal to then coincide with the colour of the crystal of the character you're trying to level up and make it so that their stats and passives are higher. So that's the best way to do it, and you'd be honestly farming your cycle quests every day, because they used to be limited to 10 tries a day, and now you can do them as much as you want in a day. That's going to be a really good way for you to get XP and crystals really quickly, because you get a lot of experience just by doing those as well. So you can kill two birds with one stone. And then that ties into a lot of other things that are a bit more advanced, like your rank and where that's useful within Opera Omnia. But I'm going to save those for another video, because honestly, when you're just starting the game, and I mean literally just starting it, you don't need to know all of that stuff. Just enjoy the game, get comfortable with the systems. You've already gotten yourself to a head start by grabbing all of the weapons for a particular character on, in a banner by re-rolling, or if you're not bothered about that, then you just want to learn the game, then just get stuck into it and just do the story and enjoy that. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, if you're not enjoying the game, then there's no point in worrying about it. So that's going to be it for this beginner's guide video. There is obviously a lot more to Opera Omnia than what I've just stated here, but if I sat there and offloaded all of the information on the game all at once, then it might be a bit of an information overload for you all. So what I've done is I'm going to break this down into like beginner, advanced, intermediate, etc., so that you guys can sort of ease yourself into it with just a nice series of videos and stuff like that. And I hope, as I said, I actually stream Opera Omnia an awful lot as events come out. So if you want to check the link in the description box for my Twitch channel, then feel free to follow me on there, because if you follow me while I'm doing Opera Omnia videos or streaming, you're welcome to ask me questions there. And I also have a Discord channel, which you're welcome to join in as well, where you can pick up friend units, like I said earlier in the video, and learn more about Opera Omnia just by conversing about it and talking about it, as well as the TCG and loads of other Final Fantasy content. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more Opera Omnia content and a lot more where all that came from. So thanks very much, and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.